It's not that anything. It's just I just seem to be out of it today. So I'm like, I don't remember a lot of Secret Invasion. Joe's been handling that, so we're good.
Listen, we could give it the short review. That's no problem. Mm-hmm. But I take notes on everything. Right. Because my mind is like a sieve. I shake my head and everything falls out.
Right. You're the walking Etch-a-Sketch.
Yes, I'm the human Etch-a-Sketch. Mm-hmm. But I try to watch everything like the day before I record anything.
I'm with you, but I can't do that because I watch it the day of, and then I forget that. Like every week, I have forgotten that we have to do Secret Invasion. I know it's in the notes, but by the time we get to the show, I have 50 things going on, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I have to look up Secret Invasion again.
It has been a while since I forgot something and I had to watch it day of. Mm-hmm. And the way that things work is, we have, Secret Invasion for the main show. We have the Patreon show for Jonas Hex, which I won't be watching until Thursday.
Right.
And then I have a movie to watch for At Odds this week as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to ask what movie it is, but I don't care.
You do care. It is the 2000 TNT original movie, Shutter Speed, starring Daisy Fuentes and Steve Borden, who you would know better.
Wait, slow down.
All
Does
right.
he have a signature casket?
He does have a signature casket that you could get with his exclusive figure at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend. Right. That's right.
The only way I know that is maybe it came up on Porch Talk this week. So.
Oh, my goodness. Did you see someone got hoodwinked by Porch Talk this week?
Yes, I love it. Like every 40 shows, like clockwork, we get somebody.
So somebody in the Discord as well. And again, I feel so bad because like everyone has like, there's people that have code names and stuff, right? And then there's people like me that don't give a shit. And I'm like, please, I'm putting my real name out there. Mm-hmm. I've talked I've talked literal coordinates where you could find my house if you really wanted to come and get me, right?
Yeah, with all the the things that you've mentioned, how close they are to your house, you can get within a block to Joe if you were really trying.
Yeah, and there's people that I know from off. There's people who it's just their first name, and then there's people who have like a code name with numbers, and I don't know what their real name is because all of their social media stuff is that, right?
Yeah.
And they listen, and again, this isn't me saying, but it's easier for me to say, it's like, I could say, Kevin said this, right? Mm-hmm. And that could be like 2 or 3 people. But if I say like your 10-4 good buddy handle, then people are going to know who you are, right?
Right.
And he had asked earlier in the week in regards to Porch Talk, and I had to explain the bit in the Discord. And then just today,
there was a comment on the actual page.
Yes. And I screenshotted it. I sent it to Adam. I'm like, you want to handle this? And he goes, handle what? Is this a tweet? What is this? And I'm like, no, it's a comment on the website for Porch Talk.
He has never signed in to comment on the website, I believe.
Now, that's what he claims, but I'm almost certain that he has because he's bantered back and forth with DeWicki in the comments on episodes of At Odds.
I'm 90% sure, and I may bump that up to 98% sure that anything DeWicki's ever left a comment in the on your At Odds page, Adam has answered on Twitter.
Okay,
every time.
Then I stand corrected there.
I mean, he could chime in and say maybe I'm wrong, but I do know, I kind of remember him saying on Twitter, like, there's no way I'm signing it. Because, you have to sign in with something or your Twitter or whatever. He's like, I'm not. Because I signed in to talk to people with my Twitter, but he's like, no, that's not happening.
And listen, I'm not the type of podcaster who will sit here and fight if I'm, like, that, no, I'm right on this one. There's a very good chance I'm wrong. It's a better than average chance because I know DeWicki comments. Mm-hmm. I know he and Adam have gone back and forth in regards to things that David has put in the comments. In my mind, I assume that they're happening in the comments, right? So, there's a very good chance, like I said, that I've been wrong. And then, I feel bad because I don't reply to David's comments on At Odds, typically because I've been off every Friday. And usually if I'm working, I'm sitting here at the computer, I get the ping. I can be like,
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm like out and about and doing stuff on Friday, by the time I get around to commenting, I'm like, oh, what am I commenting on? I don't remember what we talked about on the show. All right.
Right.
And then...
But that's okay, because there have been times when DeWicki didn't comment on the show because he was off on vacation.
Yeah.
So fair is fair, Joe. Fair is fair.
Right. So other than Porch Talk, what else have you been up to this week?
Nah, nothing. I've been Joe, I think I'm becoming a recluse. Like we've discussed it last week. I haven't gone out. I haven't done anything. That being said, it has been balls hot, so I've been sitting in front of the air conditioner with clothes on for the sake of the show.
All right.
But yeah, just trying to stay cold. That's about it.
This is like the third week in a row that you've said that you're becoming a recluse. You don't like leaving the house. I think the more you keep saying it, the more it's true.
Yeah, it is. Though next weekend I'll probably have a big excursion. So
okay,
happens. So be gone for Thursday night into Sunday night. So
oh my goodness, what's going on there? Listen, I'm sure you'll tell us next week.
Yep, that's a tease. That's what they call in the biz, a tease.
Mm-hmm. I know that you've also been quiet on social media. And we mentioned the Discord, and you haven't signed up for that yet either. We talked about that last week.
Right, and then Adam gave me the hard push on Porch Talk.
Yeah.
And I will say, seeing it as opposed to someone describing it to me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, okay. Because you were talking about like, oh, you get inundated with notifications. I was like, I don't like that. And I don't want to be, because if it's anything like our toy chat, it'll all be, what is it? Who's the guy that your Dayquil or whatever it is?
LA Knight.
Yeah, your LA Nightquill. I'll be like, okay, so is it just Discord of LA Nightquill saying yeah and talking about Bret Hart and Sting and his signature? And he's like, no, there is other things. So he showed me that. I was like, okay, I could see the ones that I would kind of want to be in. And then he was like, oh, what happened with it? And I told him, I said, yeah, well, I tried it to sign in. I downloaded the app. Do you want to log in or sign up? Obviously, I have to sign up because I don't think I already have a Discord. I did it. And when I told him, I said, yeah, I went through my phone number and they were supposed to send me a text. He's like, well, you could do it with your email too. I said, yeah, I know that I could do that. But I was so aggravated that the easy way that I was trying the first way didn't work that I was like, not now. And he's like, oh, let me walk you through it. I was like, no, because I was kind of aggravated. This one I don't need help doing. I would go from the phone number to the email. And then if the email doesn't work, I'm like, I don't know what more you want from me. But I was like, I don't need to do it immediately. If you're not going to make it easy on me, Discord, then I'm not running to sign up.
I getcha.
Old grumpy man is what it is. Yells at Discord.
Mm.
And I needed to know, because what all the hip kids are using as their names.
Right.
I should say, because when Twitter was a thing, you didn't want to use your real name. And then I'm like, oh, I don't want to go into the group as, awesome, 321 or whatever. And then, it's everybody's just Joe and Marcus and, Brett and DJ and Tim. I'm like, okay, let me see what some people are calling themselves before I get in here, even though I know you can change your name,
Yeah.
So lots of things that bother me that I need to know before I do something.
I just assume, with you being cooped up inside, that you'll need more things to, take your attention, right?
You know what keeps my attention? Sleeping, eating, watching YouTube TV, stuff like that. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm getting ready for football.
I'm trying to interest you in Discord and podcasts, but I guess that's a no-go.
What podcasts were you trying to get?
Dozens of podcasts, any of the podcasts in the soon-to-be-named network or
Oh, I listened to all those. Oh, definitely. Okay. All of those. All of them. But Discord, I don't know. Now, let me put it this way. Does anybody really need to know what I'm thinking about? You know? Yeah. I don't think so.
So, and again, listen, I know a lot of the other shows are doing this, given the hard push for Discord, but like in the comics tab, the Longbox Heroes tab, it's our own little fancy tab to talk about things, right there, Todd?
Right. Yep.
There was discussion today as I'm opening this up, and again, I don't like to have a ton of things open, but here we are.
Right.
So there's
I don't like being open either, so.
Right. So it started off earlier in the week that there was discussion in regards to Night Terror's Flash and World's Finest Teen Titans.
Okay.
Similarities between those two books. Somebody chimed in about a upcoming compendium for a writer who is on the Fuck You Forever list.
Oh, okay.
Right. And then we started going back and forth about like recent Captain America runs. And then we were discussing about how like even with his path, like when Mark Grunwald passed away, the work of his that got the most like play and coverage and discussion was Squadron Supreme.
Sure, because his blood was in the ink.
Sure.
Or his ashes were in the ink.
That's right. Gene Simmons' blood was in the Squadron Supreme.
And Stan Lee's blood was in some of the signatures that he did.
Yes. And then we just kind of we're talking back and forth about the Grunwald Cap stuff, and then we're talking about different Captain America runs, and then we were talking about this one and that one, and then the current Captain America run leading into Guardians, leading into the upcoming Thunderbolts. You know, there's discussions about comic books in there, you know?
Yeah. That would be interesting because I know nobody ever has any discussions on comics, and I'm not being jokey like in any of the chats that we ever had. It always seemed to get curb stomped real quick.
Well, again, this is... And so that's the thing. Like, I have and typically I had a separate conversation with comic books. Like, here's this one with Craig, and here's this one with Kevin Ford, and here's this one with this person, here's this one with that person. So instead of trying to, like, finagle all these people together, that's what Discord is for. Everyone gets to finagle together into this one little,
I gotcha. But my thing always was, too, when it came to our comic chats, it was more along the lines of it would always end up in a save it for the show kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, so that's the thing. Obviously, there's stuff that maybe like a week or two ago, because the Discord is relatively new, it was something that came up in the Discord, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a note of that for myself to talk about on the show, and we could talk, like, I could say somebody's on the Fuck You Forever list here on this podcast,
right?
But the main show is typically positive,
right.
So we can't get into like saying that, we can't get into saying fuck you there. And we're typically not going to name names when it comes to people that we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking into a microphone, but typing it on the Discord, I feel a little bit more comfortable doing it,
Right. No, I get you.
And like, and I'll say this here. It was on my list a couple weeks ago. Because Bendis is doing stuff over at Dark Horse. And I was like, we'll see. And then he did a book with Michael Avon Oeming. It was the team that did Powers together,
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I like Powers. It really fell apart at the end. But it's this creative team that I liked. Doing a new book. I'm going to give it a try. And it was dog shit.
Okay.
So it was just like, it was so bad. Like, I think it might have been my book. It might not have been my book for the week, but it was like maybe like would have been runner up.
Right.
And as soon as I finished reading the issue, I took that off my pull list. And there was another Bendis book that was coming out from Dark Horse, like maybe like 2 months later. Right. That got pulled as well,
Gotcha. No, I get you.
We typically don't get into that sort of stuff on the main show, right? We try to keep things positive.
Mm-hmm. But I could unleash my fury in the Discord?
Yeah.
There you go. See, that's what the world wants. Todd Unchained.
Right.
We'll see. I like being the lone holdout. And then Young Ed supported me on Twitter this week. So I know I'm on the right side of history.
Oh, yes.
He was like, don't let anybody bully you. And I was like, young Ed used the right word. He understands. I think young Ed gets me, Joe. First of all, I was shocked young Ed knew who I was. I can't imagine him listening to the comic show.
No.
Maybe the After Dark. Maybe because he's a loyal Joe sycophant. But I don't know because I don't listen to Hayabusa.
Right.
So I don't know, but maybe I'll come around on the Discord. Maybe I'll drag my feet a little bit more. Maybe I want more attaboys and pats on my back to get me in. We'll see. Who knows?
This could be the last time I bring it up.
Right.
Unless the streak continues next week for 4 weeks in a row where you tell us that you're becoming a hermit.
Joe, well, next week, like I said,
right, next week the streak is broken, so
yeah. Yeah, no, it's not this weekend coming up. It's the weekend after. I'm sorry. So a streak will be broken. Don't worry.
All right, fair enough.
So what's new and exciting with you, Joe, besides the Discord?
Well, obviously this is, more crossover with Adults with Wrestling, of course. I haven't had a lot of weekly purchases lately.
Right.
Only because, we've been planning for our vacations, but also I knew my car inspection was coming up.
Uh-oh.
I won't get into too much about that here, because, the dollar amounts and everything, but I got my car inspected. I had to get new tires for it, because last year they told me they're like, they barely passed inspection this time. 3 of them are okay, one of them's real bad.
Right.
And then this time when I went to go get tires, they're like, yeah, they're all bad. You need all new tires. I'm like, that's what I'm here for. So I got the verdict from the inspection back today, and I'll read you the text that I got from my mechanic person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Altogether had to weld the broken muffler brackets back on. You will need... What was that?
I said, oh boy, but go ahead.
Right. You will need front brakes and rotors for next year. The exhaust is starting to rust and probably needs to be replaced.
But did it pass then?
It passed.
Oh, then you don't need it till next year. Or when it starts screaming.
Right, but I'm going to need it. He told me last year it's going to need tires, so I made a little note for myself. When my inspection was due in my phone, I'm like, inspection, new tires. And this time it changed to, for a year from now, inspection, exhaust, brakes, rotors. Mm-hmm. So I come back with that verdict. We pick up the car. It runs fine, everything's good. And my wife is like, that's a lot of shit that needs to get done to your car. Maybe we should think about getting you a new car.
Ooh.
Now, my dream in life would be the baby car that I have now lasts until Asa is 17, which is only 5 years from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's 17, the chain continues. I have not had a new car of my own since 1997. That was the first, actually 1998, and it wasn't even a new car. It was a 1997 that was a showroom model, like the ones when you would go to the mall, and it's like, oh, come to whatever dealership, and we have a car here, right?
Right.
But 1998, I purchased a 1997 that had 2 miles on it.
Oof, but they were hard 2 miles.
And it was a hard 2 miles. It was driving up the tow truck through the mall to where it sat in the Wyoming Valley Mall or whatever the hell mall it was in, right?
Right, literally 2 miles of bad road for Joe.
Right. So every time after that, it would be April gets a car, a brand new car, and then I get her old car, right?
Yep.
That's the way these things have gone for the last couple times until we ran her new car. She got a 2007 or whatever, and I got her 2001. I drove the 2001 into the ground, say 2000. I'm trying to think how old Asa would have been. This would have been 2013. Drove it in the ground, broke down to the side of the road, walked home, because that's how close to my house I was. and just left it on the side of the road, broke down, and then I got myself what I have now, which is a 2011 that I got in 13, whatever.
Right.
So that's like the newest car that I ever got, and I got a 2011 with like 0 frills. No air conditioning, 2 doors, crank windows.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when she says that, and I'm just like, I don't need a new car. Let's get an estimate on how much this other shit is going to cost to fix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, we'll reevaluate this when we come back from the cruise.
Cruise?
Right.
Was this the thing you told me you were doing?
I did after we recorded last week.
No, okay, but wasn't there something? Is this October?
No. October is Universal. October has been in the plans for like 3 years now.
All right, that's why I was like, oh, you already told me about this. Now I thought, okay, but cruise I don't think I know about.
Right. So the cruise came up not Monday this week, but Monday last week. My sister-in-law was in. My brother, their 2 kids went on a cruise over Christmas. She pitched it to April and my other sister-in-law. They agreed without consulting us, which is whatever, right? And I even said to April when I got there, and I'm like, if I said no, were you guys still going to go on the cruise? And she goes, yep. I go, okay, so it is what it is, right? The cruise is relatively inexpensive, like what you would think a cruise would be.
Yeah.
I think it's like for 3 days, 4 nights, or 4 days, 5 nights, or whatever it is. For the 3 of us, it's like $1,600, like all said and done, right?
That's not bad. That's probably because the cruise lines are still trying to come back from COVID.
Yeah.
Like, they got busted up.
Yeah. Like, now, granted, we got to buy our plane tickets to get down to Florida, right? Mm-hmm. And that's like another expenditure on top of it. But like, so we paid for the cruise this week. We paid for the flight for October this week. We're going to pay for Universal this week. And then we're going to then after we get back from Universal, we're going to pay for the flights for the cruise. And then when all of that is done, then I guess we're going to look to see how much it's going to cost to fix this shit on my car. And like I said, it always in my mind when stuff like this happens, if whatever the total is less than $1,000, we're keeping the car.
No, I get you. There's a Mendoza line of repairs.
Yes.
You know what, Joe? I feel like I want to contribute. Take my eBay click-through money and put it towards fixing your car.
Okay.
My cut of the fucking money, yeah. Put it towards fixing your car.
Okay.
Just really quick, when I got that email the other day, and I forgot to mention it, it was like, I owe you this, decimal point this. Yes. And I was like, I'm not even wasting the internet to email this back. I'm like, whatever. It's all good. You keep that as a tip, Joe.
And I got no problems in talking about this sort of stuff here on the show, and that's what this show is for. And listen, I will say, the Longbox Heroes numbers are higher for June. Mm-hmm. And like they're higher than what they were before. Excuse me. And they're higher than the ad odds numbers as well.
That's all I care about, but go ahead.
Right. I know that's your thing that you care about.
That's until that ASBATS money comes in.
Mm-hmm. Give me a second. I want to get the exact verbiage with this. Because it's funny, and we'll close out the show with this.
Mm-hmm. Is it the thing that you always read on the other show, you mean?
No. You had brought up about the eBay, right? And I'm just pulling up the work email here.
Right.
Okay. And I'm not going to expose Adam's business, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's for him. So this is an email that I sent in May, because the way the eBay payouts work is it's like two months rolling, like how the Amazon was, and they pay out on the 10th, right? So this is May 11th. and they wait until you have $10. Like the month is like whatever their rolling month is. Once you have $10 in the account, that's when they send it to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So May 11th, they're like, here's your payout, and it breaks down as X for at odds and $1.10 for Longbox.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Todd, I owe you 55 cents. And Todd's like, you could eat it, right?
Right.
This time, we were up from last time, and I'm like, so Adam, here's your part. And then Todd, you and I get to split, what was it? We got to split $2.95, I think.
Right.
Right. So I'm like, I owe you $1.47. And I'm like, well, if we add that onto the 55 cents I owed you from 2 months prior, you know,
yep.
You're up to $2. You're up to almost like a little over $2, right?
Right, over $3.
No, $1.47.
Oh, okay.
Plus 55 cents.
Oh, I thought you said two something, but I got you. Yeah.
No,
I'm trying to pad the stats.
No, listen, I'm an honest man here, right?
Yep.
So, use our eBay. If you still buy stuff through eBay, use our affiliate link. We get a little bit of a kickback. That's a little less, like the seller doesn't lose out on any money. It's more money that gets taken away from eBay,
Yep.
And then, did I mention to you a couple weeks ago, I start getting emails again from Amazon about like tips for being an affiliate?
You may have, and then did you tell me? Because I think this was off mic. Might have been on mic. I don't know. Like that, somebody could tell me. But was it something that? Yeah, no, it was at the shop. That's what it was. And you were like, and you don't have. I was like, blah blah blah, this and that, and you want to opt out of it, but they took your login away. Or
yes,
so there's no unsubscribe because your account's gone or something.
Right, and usually at the bottom of an email, there's a thing that says, to unsubscribe from these notifications, just click here, right?
Right.
So I reply back to them and I say, you suspended my Amazon account in January of this year. Mm-hmm. However, just this month, you started sending me notifications of how to optimize my Amazon Associates account. So, is my account closed? Or can you please stop sending me these emails? I would like my account to be open back up again, and I'd like the money for December and January that you ripped me off for. Or November and December, whatever it was, right?
No, I get you. It doesn't matter. And the rip-off part is the best part.
I go, please either stop sending me these Amazon Associate emails, or please reopen my Amazon Associate account. Mm-hmm. So 5 days later, I just get a thing that says, your account was closed. It cannot be reviewed to be reopened. Please stop emailing us.
Please, they're asking you to stop emailing them?
It was essentially the verbiage was any further emails regarding this subject will not be responded to.
Then stop emailing me.
That's what I said.
I'm not. Listen, I was quiet until you bothered me. You poked me with the stick. I didn't poke you. Oh, let's go to Amazon headquarters.
All right.
Get the big Jeep. I always say we'll get the Jeep with the cannon on it. We'll go.
Okay. No, I'm trying to see if I could find that email of what they sent to me, but I don't think I have it anymore.
Have you gotten any more optimize your Amazon account emails?
No, not since then.
Okay, maybe they were like, let's take this schmo out of the thing, and I won't have to deal with it.
Oh, okay. Hang on. So here it is. As stated in our previous communications, our decision to terminate your account is final. Any further requests to review your account for reinstatement will not receive a response.
Oh. That was nice of them to get back to you.
Yeah.
Those good guys at Amazon.
Bunch of scumbags.
That little company that can do,
Yeah. All right. So I think that was it for Longbox Heroes, right?
Yeah, that's everything.
Longbox Heroes After Dark. My apologies.
Right. Did we ever get a number on this one, or?
$453.
Sure, why not?
All right. So, hey, thanks everyone for listening. We mentioned the eBay thing and Patreon stuff. Patreon.com/longboxheroes. If you're one of the $1 folks, under the $5 folks, Previewing the Past is coming out this week. One of my favorite ones that we've done. And then we'll be talking about Jonas X this Friday to go out for the $5 and up folks at that time.
Can't wait for that one.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, you're going to have to wait at least 3 days. So we'll see you then. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for everything.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.